Welcome to heCast, the official podcast of He Changed It. As always, I am Mike Chisholm. As always, I am so excited to be here and to talk about the world of men's mental wellness in all of the facets and pathways that we explore in that topic. Obviously, we are the official podcast of He Changed It. If you haven't downloaded the He Changed It app, what are you waiting for? It has never looked better. Things are happening behind the scenes. I know I'm a broken record when it comes to that, but it's just really exciting to watch this thing grow. And at the end of the day, He Changed It is the first men's mental wellness platform that has been created, and we're incredibly proud of what's been happening and what is going to happen. Now, we have been in partnership for some special episodes of heCast with a company called TELUS. For the Canadians, you know what TELUS is. For other people around the world, you might not necessarily know who they are. TELUS is a massive, massive communications company in Canada, cell phone provider, broadcast television provider, massive internet provider. And we went into and did a very cool program with TELUS. The result was 5 amazing episodes of heCast, which we are now going to put out on our platform here. The episodes are with a band. The band is called Proper Man. And Proper Man is a local band from Kelowna, British Columbia. And all 5 members have a story. The entire band has a story. And so as a narrative, all 5 episodes tie in together, kind of like Voltron, a whole bunch of robots coming together to make one super robot, kind of like that. Each episode is amazing. And I'm so proud of the work that we have done. I'm so proud to be friends with these guys. And it's a pretty special story. So without further ado, heCast, the official podcast of He Changed It, would like to present Proper Man, the heCast Conversations. Welcome to heCast, the official podcast of He Changed It. As always, I am Mike Chisholm. As always, I'm so excited to be here. It's a broken record, but guess what? It is 100% authentic. I am excited to be here. I'm excited to be part of this, to watch He Changed It grow. If you haven't downloaded the He Changed It app yet, what are you waiting for? Grab it. It's super cool already, and you ain't seen nothing yet. It's moving forward, and there's lots of cool things happening in the He Changed It world. Go to HeChangedIt.com for more details. Now, the Proper Man Conversations. Travis Saunders, the keyboard player, massive music producer, and with a story that I was not prepared for. I knew I was going to sit down with Travis, and the cool thing about Travis is he is, like I say, he's a big into music. I'm big into music, and I knew it was going to be a great conversation. I knew he's been through some stuff. I had no idea the depth and breadth of what Travis has been through, and I mean, here's a guy who has, safe to say, been to the edge, peered over the edge. In fact, might have hung over the edge and come back. He's the first to admit that there is a lot of people who have been over that edge and haven't survived it. And I just, you talk about this grateful guy and this guy that just really, really, he's got a special, special heart. That will become obvious the moment you start listening to Travis talk. And this story is just a powerful one. I just appreciate him so much for being as vulnerable as he was. And please share these episodes. And this is one in particular that if it hits your heart, please share it out there. There are guys that will hear this message, and they will pull back from their particular edge that they're on. I just appreciate Travis Saunders so much. So without further ado, the heCast, the official podcast of He Changed It, presenting the Proper Man Conversations, Travis Saunders.
Travis is definitely the eccentric, crazy, creative one. I think some people that don't know everybody in the band, they're led to believe that is potentially me. It's not. Travis is much more of a creative mind, eccentric beast than I can ever be. He's a producer. He's produced, I would say, hundreds of bands in the scene. He's been noted in Canada for his producing. He's a very, very talented person and a very beautiful person. He's helped a lot of young bands back in the days where, sorry to all you bands out there, but a lot of bands were quite shitty. He'd make them good. And they all know what I'm talking about. They'd come into the studio and Travis would clean them up and give them hope. And that's what it's all about, right? And then they got better. Now a lot of those guys are in great bands. So Travis is a very a very important person to the music industry, I think, in BC and very noted in Kelowna. And Proper Man, he does record the stuff. He produces it. I'm the irritating guy on his side. I don't call it co-producing or being irritating, and he's just nice to me. So we do a lot of stuff together in the studio. And he's, yeah, I'm very happy. When he first came into Proper Man, he's got a very busy mind, and he's got a love-hate with music. So you don't want to overwork Travis. You've got to keep that balance. And I didn't know if being in a band would be good for him. And it turns out it's been a very beautiful thing for him, for all of us. And I think it's also the connection and the friendship and putting it all that together into one thing. So yeah, Travis, very unique. Wait till you interview him. Best of luck.
Okay, Travis, what's your name in the band?
Banny.
Banny.
Well, Ashley Bannister, actually.
Ashley
That's
Bannister.
The full name is Ashley Bannister, yeah.
Ashley, where did that come from?
When we were recording one day, when I first joined Proper Man, I looked up just like Proper Man and images on like Google.
Yeah.
And this picture of this guy with this huge mustache who looked nothing like me came up, and his name was Ashley Bannister. He was the Proper Man of the week. So, and then from then on, for some reason, they called me him, and then just came down to Banny.
And Banny
now
stuck.
I'm Banny, yeah.
Now, okay, so I love the idea of the alter egos. It's cool. You know, I remarked to you, this is the first time I've never seen you in a suit.
Right, yeah.
The first time today, like these alter egos.
Yeah.
You dress, you come in. It's a different mindset.
Yeah, for sure.
Who is Banny compared to who is Travis?
I don't. Banny's a little bit crazier, maybe. He's a guy who can just totally let free or let loose and be free when he plays music.
Yeah.
Because when you play in Proper Man, when I play in Proper Man, well, all the guys, I'm sure, right? But when I play in Proper Man, it's just you just kind of just forget everything and you just totally get into the music and you just, I don't know. It's like I'm like whatever. I am how I am when I'm not Banny, but when I'm Banny, I don't think about it as like a transformation. But it's just that's the guy that plays with Proper Man who's just really into the music. Yeah.
Well, and you are really into music.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, for sure. Music is my life, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
So
always has been.
let's talk about that. Like, when did you start with music? Has it always been keyboards?
It's always kind of been keyboards. I started when I was like 3 or 4 playing the piano.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was taught all by ear, just on the Suzuki method. And then I went to Royal Conservatory and stuff like that.
Whoa.
So I did my piano degree and stuff like that. But then I wanted to join a band when I was older, and piano wasn't cool enough. So I decided to learn how to play the guitar.
Yep.
Yeah. So I learned how to play the guitar, and then my sister had a drum set, so I learned how to play that, and then kind of just morphed into everything.
Where'd you grow up?
In Black Mountain in Kelowna. Yeah.
I'm a Black Mountain kid too.
Nice. That's amazing.
Yep.
Yeah. Where'd you grow up?
Lund Road. My parents are still up on Lund Road.
Awesome. Yeah. I grew up on Linrick, and then we moved to Gallagher Road by the old schoolhouse pub there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I know that's my old stomping grounds.
Very, very, very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Did you go there to the school there?
Yeah, I went there from grades kindergarten to 3, Black Mountain Elementary, and then I went to the Christian School, Heritage Christian School, from 4 to 10, and then I went to Rutland for 11 and 12.
Was you hear a lot of people who end up in Christian schools and have sort of that background or whatever, and music becomes a thing. Either you're playing in church or piano lessons. Like a lot of kids like that. That's where they end up into music. Was that you? Yeah,
a little bit, I guess. It's like that's where I cut my teeth on the drums. I was just kind of thrown into it, playing at church every Sunday.
So drums too.
Yeah. So I started play church at drums, and then that just turned into me learning more drums and everything. But I play every week for like years and years.
I love this
at church.
I love the story of Proper Man with the drummers.
Yeah,
and how many drums, how much influence is there?
For sure. And but that's the thing though, like Justin can play better with his feet than, like, he makes me and Jay look like we have no hands when he plays. And more good drummers. I'm better than Jay, but
I love hearing that. That's great.
Yeah, no, Jay can do it. He's like 80s double kick pedal.
Yep.
Yeah, twirl the sticks. I'm not as good as stick twirler, but I don't know. No, but yeah, it is pretty cool.
We all got to be good at something, I suppose.
Because we're like ruthless with drumming, right? Because we can both play drums. If we don't have a good drummer, then it's like, oh, well, yeah. It'd be like a Foo Fighters thing, right? Like Dave Grohl replaced the drums that, what's his name, did on the Color and the Shape, right? Yep. William Goldsmith, who's a great drummer from Sunny Day Real Estate, but Dave Grohl's better. So, and he knew what he wanted and it's like that. But that's what Justin brings to the band, is that he does everything that we want and more, and does it better and quicker, right? So
There's a quote my a good friend of mine when Taylor Hawkins from the Foo Fighters passed away.
Yeah.
What he said, and we both huge music fans from similar eras as
Right.
well. Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
totally.
Taylor Hawkins was the only guy that the public would accept to back up Dave Grohl in a band.
Exactly. Right.
You know?
Yeah. Oh,
And-
no, for sure.
And I feel a little bit of that. Whatever the sentiment that comes with that statement,
Yeah.
I feel a little bit of that with Justin, with you guys.
Yeah, for sure. It's
Like-
a similar sort of thing, right?
He just
I mean,
feels like the right guy. The
yeah.
way he hits so hard, and the
Yeah.
way his personality is so big and strong. You
Yeah.
know, he's the killer. He's the killer of the band. Like
Exactly.
he's just.
Yeah. I named it that.
Did
for
you
the
name him
record.
Killer?
Yep.
There
yeah.
it is.
Yeah, they were talking about naming him Sweet Pea or like QD something, or I was like, what the hell? I'm not named for a drummer. He's a goddamn killer.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I
and then
dig
kinda
it.
Stuck. Yeah.
I love the camaraderie with you guys. I love that you're all. I mean, he's the baby of the group, but I
Yeah.
love how you guys are in this, kind of similar place, a lot of similar mindsets. When did you start with Proper Man? What's your role with? I mean, obviously you're the keyboard player, things
Yeah.
like that, but I know it's a lot bigger than that.
Yeah.
What's your role in Proper Man?
Well, yeah, I was living in Vancouver and independently producing, like there, because long story short, but I decided to move back to the Okanagan because like producing records is burning me out. And
Yeah.
I came back here, and Jay was just like, "Hey, yeah, we got this new band that me and Petri are doing, and why don't you play some keyboards on it?"
Did you
So-
know him?
Yeah, I knew him back from like 2001 or two. I've known him for around 20 years. But I produced a record for his old band called Glasshead,
Okay.
and did a few other random songs and projects. But yeah, I recorded Daydreams on Jupiter with Jay
Yeah.
and Glasshead when he was doing that. So that's how we met. And then we kind of lost touch for a little bit because just life and everything, right? But when I came back, then yeah, he asked me to come out and just play keyboards on one track. And that led into me living at his house for 2 weeks and playing keyboards on like 10 tracks. And then it's kind of in the band.
So you were in the record business in Vancouver, which has a thriving music industry.
Yeah.
Tough business to be in.
No, totally. Yeah. It's
For a variety of
it's
reasons.
chaotic and insane. And it's like, I don't know. It's a lot of work
Yeah.
to do stuff like that. Because I used to run a studio in Black Mountain, actually. When I first started, I just got a bunch of gear. My parents gave me the option of either going to recording school or my dad would just lend me a bunch of money to buy equipment
Whoa.
that I didn't know how to use. So I took the second option and read a bunch of books, made a lot of really bad recordings. And then it turned into me just like randomly doing it full time. And it was like my career for like 15 years. Yeah.
A very handy skill set to have in Proper Man,
Mhm.
to have an actual bona fide producer.
That's been very handy.
Yeah, like that's
the guys don't know how much they owe me.
Yeah.
Just kidding. But no, it has come in handy because I produce all Proper Man stuff.
Yeah.
All right, to date until I get fired and move on to someone better. But who knows? We'll see what happens. But yeah, no, it's really cool. But it's like it's probably not easy to be in a band with me sometimes because I'm used to have my fingers in everything, right?
Every part of the process.
Yeah, just like from producing.
Yep.
Yeah. But I mean, it's turned out pretty good so far, I think.
Absolutely.
So yeah, no, I really enjoy that aspect of being able to work with everyone and bring the songs to life. Not that I'm the reason the songs come to life, but you know what I mean, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So it's like it's really fun because I like control. I'm not a control freak, but with music, I'm a complete control freak.
Yeah.
Where it needs to be a certain way that it has to be, right?
It has to have a sound to it.
Yeah. I think that like any musician worth their like weight in salt or whatever is the same way, or at least they should be the same way. They have
Yeah.
something that they want, that they're striving towards. And yeah, I just spent lots of years in the studio doing that with just random bands, right?
Yeah.
And my own projects and stuff, right? And that's how me and Jay, sorry to bring that full circle. That's how me and Jay met, is because I was producing music full time and met Jay. And he's, well, talk about control freaks. Jay's a control freak. Yeah, you should have seen him when I first met him. He was just like into everything, just like making sure everyone did all their stuff. And I was like, man, I don't even need a beer, just push a button.
Yeah.
It's like Jay's producing it.
Well, it's funny because I mean, every single member of this band are leaders in some way.
Yeah.
In an aspect, one or two aspects of their life in one way or another, a lot of leaders.
Yeah.
Has it ever been difficult getting all these personalities together to collaborate? Has that ever
No,
been?
really, actually, no. And that's like a shocker, really, because like bands, there's always band politics and stuff going on. But Proper Man's been the easiest band that I've ever been a part of by far, because everyone just kind of like knows their place and does their stuff, and we're very open with how we communicate with music and everything. So yeah, it's like, and that's what Jay said from the very beginning. He always wanted it to be a very easy band to be in.
Yeah.
And he accomplished that in spades.
Yeah,
It's like at first, it's like we would just jam every week, right? We didn't even know what we were doing. We're just like writing songs, recording, and just like rehearsing for this place, I guess, eventually, right? Because he always had the vision to build this, right?
Did you ever see that vision? Did you ever say, okay, yeah, I see it happening, or was it always a pipe dream in
He
your
talked
mind?
to me about it, and Jay's crazy with his ideas, so I didn't put it past him to make it like come to like become a reality. But I didn't know it was going to be this cool and big and everything, because yeah, it's literally the best band to be in because we have every opportunity,
Yeah.
like presented to us, where it's like, and it doesn't mean that all of a sudden we don't have to work hard and do everything, because there's so much like further that we can go. But definitely what Jay's done for the band is monumental. Yeah.
Is there anything that you produced in when you were doing it professionally down in Vancouver in
Yeah.
the music scene? Is there anything that you produced that you love to throw out there? Oh, I'm so proud that I did this. This is something that I loved.
Well, that's
being
a
a
good
part of?
question, right? Yeah. There's like a lot of records that I did. Like in the old like early 2000s Kelowna scene, I produced Stutterfly.
Okay.
So they were like they end up getting signed to Maverick Records,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And then from there, there's like the Bleeding Alarm, and I don't even know, like Danny Lovelock. I did like hundreds of records over the course of like 10 years.
Wow.
And yeah, like a lot of them like had some success on some level,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, it's like Bleeding Alarm turned into Secret and Whisper. Sorry, the Bleeding Alarm and Stutterfly turned into Secret and Whisper, and they like were on Tooth and Nail Records, and I did a record for them and stuff. But yeah, it's like for some reason, guys came to me to do like the hardcore records.
Yeah.
Because I like heavy music,
Yeah.
but I like melody at the same time, right?
Right.
Yeah. So it was kind of funny that I was recording all these screamo bands, but I was able to bring an aspect of melody into their stuff. Right?
I think about some of the producers that have made some of the best hard music albums, and they all have massive quality and
Right.
depth.
Yeah,
in
totally.
That. And I think that's what makes,
that's it's fascinating to me to use technology to build a song, right? You know,
Yep.
and stuff. It's like back in the day, like, well, it's when I was young, I just had a 4-track tape recorder, and that's how I cut my teeth on recording. I'd get like 12, 16 tracks out of just 4 tracks by bouncing and layering.
Yep.
After I graduated, I just spent like a year in my room on my 4-track recorder. And I was like, you got to get a job. What are you doing here doing this music all day? But then he's the one that's like, hey, if you want to do this, I'll support you in anything you want to do. And
how amazing is that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I'm very, very fortunate to have had the parents that I had to
just
support me
allow
and
you
do
to
whatever.
nurture that.
Yeah. Because my dad's pretty like he can very hands-on. He can build anything, fix anything, do stuff like that. He's actually a great musician as well. Yeah. But he told me when I was younger, he's like, I know you're not like me, but I accept that, and I realize that, and it's amazing, and I'll support you in anything that you want to do, right? So they just like allowed me to pursue music as much as I wanted.
You're a parent?
Yeah, my parents did, yeah.
No, but you are a parent as well?
Oh, yes, I am a parent as well,
Yeah,
I've got a 21-year-old son named Josh.
Wow.
Yeah, he's going to school now, actually, in Victoria for video production.
You got a 21-year-old.
Yeah.
Video production. So, and funny that, not funny, but, similar, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And did you give him that same, what your dad gave you in that freedom?
Yeah, 100%.
You were the same.
Yeah, the same
way?
opportunity, right? Yeah, it's like I just want him to be happy and then pursue whatever he wants to, right? He actually went into school for accounting first, and then just found out that it wasn't for him. But yeah, no, that's what life's all about, is doing what you want and that makes you happy, right? That's what I think of it.
Oh, man, well, and this is part of the reason why HeChangedIt exists. Is we've got this. There's an entire it's a generation. And then there's the generation before and the generation after who are affected by this generation. But there's this generation of guys who, many of which, and I think this will ring true to you. I mean, we grew up in similar geographic areas for sure. I mean, we're guys were kind of told, okay, either go to school, get a good job with some good benefits, connect the dots. Yeah. That we want you to connect, that society tells you to connect.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And then you end up later on in life not being fulfilled and not knowing why. We wonder why there's so many, mental health issues
for sure
out there. And it's because guys aren't necessarily living their purpose.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I'm very grateful that my parents gave me the opportunity they supported me in whatever I wanted to do. It was hockey. Hockey took away from my music a lot of the time, right? With playing rep and and traveling all the time and stuff. But yeah, just to have that freedom that my parents supported me with. Like they never once said, hey, you need to go to college, you need to get this degree. It's like I went to music college, right, and got my degree in piano, but that was my choice. And it was never like, hey, you need to doctor or something or like anything like that. They just totally just like open the door and be like, hey, do whatever you want to. And that was a crazy amount of freedom. Yeah. And led me into the crazy music industry, which at times can get super crazy and like just whatever, right? It's like, it's a different lifestyle recording bands, because bands are on vacation whenever they come to work with you, right? Most of them have day jobs around it, right? And so it's a pretty big party scene.
I was gonna say, probably learned a lot of lessons.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Some I wish I never would have learned, but yeah. No,
like what? What are some things that
just like getting into substances and stuff like that. And things like that. It's like, because I grew up straight edge in the church.
Okay.
And then when I started to record, it's like I never even touched alcohol till I was 21 and everything like that, because I was super straight edge. But it's like, I definitely made up for lost time with bands.
Jumped into the deep end.
Yeah, and that's not something that I'm like stoked or proud to say, right?
No,
it's like it's just the way that my life went. And I was a little bit naive to a lot of stuff because I was so sheltered as a kid, right? And that's the thing. I grew up, I had all the freedom I wanted, like when I was in my late teens and stuff with my parents, with what they let me to do, but they totally sheltered me from everything. And I'm very thankful for it at the same time. And I think it wasn't the right thing at some times, right? Because it protects you from everything, and then all of a sudden you're thrown into it, right?
So, okay, I'm just doing a little bit of quick math in my head, and bear with me because I'm not very good at math.
Yeah.
So you got a 21-year-old.
Yeah.
And you were in the music business during his formative years.
Yeah.
During years when the substances
that's when
would have been
I just started the studio. Well, substances didn't really get into it until like a few years down the road, right?
Okay.
When I started to do bigger bands and like everything, I did it full time. I didn't even know what I was doing. It's the only reason that I got into recording in the first place was because I wanted to make better recordings of my own music.
There you go.
And the 4-track recorder wasn't cutting it.
No.
So I was like, okay, well, if I can figure out that, I can figure out something else. So yeah, I just kind of just like dove in head first and did that. And then it kind of grew from there with the production and the bands and stuff like that. And then, and then you start to work with, well, all sorts of characters in the music industry, right? Yeah. Yeah, and stuff like that. Like, thankfully, that's all behind me now, right?
What did you do to get it behind you? Was it just a wake-up call one day? Was there actual, did professionals have to get involved and help you with that? Or
it's like how much time you got. That's a huge story, right? Because it's like Proper Man was like the start of me kind of coming out of all that stuff. Because I was producing full time.
You're kidding.
No, 100%. Like I was producing full time, like 6 days a week, spending 10 hours a day in the studio. My entire life was just like kind of passing me by, it seemed like. Because I was enjoying it, but it was just all consuming. It's like when you produce a record, it's all you think about. And I was married at the time back then, and that it's like that marriage went the way of the dinosaur, and I was living in Vancouver.
Something's got to give.
And I was just like, okay, I got to change something. So I was like, I'm gonna just take a step back from producing and come back here. And it's like, but I just like made a conscious decision to stop, like partying like that. Because it was like a lot of things. Am I allowed to say substances on the air or whatever?
Course.
But I know it's like it's pretty crazy because I started to get mental issues. Well, some people would say now I still have mental issues, but only good ones, right? But no, it's like back then it's like I was seeing a psychiatrist, and I was just like getting thrown rooftop doses of like benzos, like clonazepam and Xanax and Valium. I was on like serious rooftop doses of those ones. It's weird for me to talk about this now because it seems like a lifetime ago, right? But I was also addicted to OxyContin because I had 3 shoulder surgeries, and it was all prescribed by my doctor. But I was like super deep into Oxy. He said the worst thing in the world. That's like the fucking devil.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
I swear, but no, it's like, and rooftop doses of clonazepam. I shouldn't even be alive right now with all the medication I was being prescribed.
Okay, coming off that must have also been a journey too, because that's
sure.
Your body gets, the tolerance levels goes up, it gets used to it.
Yeah.
The addictive qualities, never mind any of that stuff. And Wow. So you made a decision.
Yeah, because I knew
And you had help too.
I knew it was going to kill me. Yeah, and that's where kind of Proper Man ties in, because when I first moved back from Vancouver, I was insanely addicted to OxyContin and like Valium and Xanax and all that sort of stuff. And I just quit the Valium and Xanax cold turkey, and then went on like methadone to get off of OxyContin. But it was like literally a year and a half of like not sleeping, not anything. It's like, and that's when I first reconnected with Jay. Is when I came back here, and he was like such a like a help to me with that, because he just like opened his house up to me. And I remember countless nights at his old place, just like just being awake and totally withdrawing and stuff. Because even after you get over withdrawals and do stuff, it still affects you mentally, right? But I just decided that I want to go cold turkey off of benzos.
Yep.
And then wean myself down like 10 times quicker than the doctors thought that I could have, like with methadone from the OxyContin. Because I wanted to get off it so bad, right?
Yeah.
So I did that, and the doctor kept saying, no, you can't get off of this that quickly. You're going to fail. You're just going to relapse and stuff. But I did it.
The doctors said you're going to relapse because
I asked him to cut down like the methadone so fast. Yeah, it's weird for me to talk about this, especially on camera, because people are going to think I'm freaking crazy.
Well, no, because there's I mean, we're talking about He Changed It and all this, and we're doing this special heCast presentation on Proper Man, right? Focusing on all of you, but we have done, quite a few podcasts with people. Like there's this group called Mom Stop the Harm, and it's about exactly what you're talking about.
Right.
I got goosebumps as you're saying this, because there are so many people, but men in general. There's so many men that, and for many of them, it started from a shoulder injury. It started from
totally,
and then they end up. And they end up going through the medical system. The medical system then says, okay, well, now it's time to stop.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're like, what the hell?
And
like,
they go on the street.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm very thankful that I didn't. I had friends that I knew that ended up going to heroin and stuff like that. But
right now with heroin,
right?
You look at fentanyl. The fentanyl crisis that's happening.
Yeah.
And people are being, and it's not even overdosing, it's being poisoned. Like there's a lot of dudes right now that, as you started talking about this, have perked up.
Yeah, no, totally.
Because many of them are in denial. Many of them have families. Like it's not the stereotypical person.
Yeah.
That you would think. Like when you and I were growing up, and people were saying, "Oh yeah, there's someone who's addicted to drugs on the street." The profile of that person was given
totally different, right?
Completely. And there's a stereotype there and all of that.
Exactly.
But there's a lot of guys that are quietly, you talk about people who are closet alcoholics.
Yeah.
There's a lot of closet drug dealer or drug users out there.
No, for sure.
And you talking about this, like, from what I'm hearing, Travis, it's like, you hear the phrase, there's nothing more powerful than a made up mind.
Yeah, right. Yeah, totally.
And you defied.
That's the thing. Yeah, exactly. Right. It's like I decided that wasn't going to be the rest of my life. Right. And
what made you? I apologize, but what made you get over the hump just to make that decision to say, no, I want to make the change? Was there an event that happened? Was it something where you just woke up one day and you're like, no, I need to change this?
Well, the first event with Oxy is that I went to my doctor and he said, I'm getting audited by the pharmaceutical board here, and guy got to cut everyone off because I guess he was over-prescribing a lot of people, right? As many doctors do. So then I was like, what the heck? So I got cut down from like 300 like milligrams of Oxy every single day, and
that's a lot, right?
Yeah, that's like a lot.
Okay.
It's like, and if you mix those as benzos, it's like that's what stops your respiratory system and you can die. It's like my friends used to think like that you're totally gonna die. And I was like, what? No, I'm invincible. But yeah, it's like the whole thing started because I couldn't get Oxy for my pain anymore. And then I moved to Vancouver and I was still in the music industry and stuff like that. But then it's
you were functioning.
Yeah, exactly. But then it's like, just came to the point where I was like, okay, I got to just stop all this stuff. So that's when I quit benzos cold turkey. Worst idea ever. But anyways, it's like, I just knew that I had to make a change or nothing was going to happen. But that's the messed up thing. It was very scary because I was put on benzos because I had or don't have anymore. If it's different now, it's different. But I've got I had an anxiety disorder, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like severe anxiety. That's why they threw clonazepam at me and stuff like that.
Yep.
I just kept going up and up and up, and it worked, but it turned me into a zombie, right? I was just waking up and sedating myself every day. Right. And so, and I continued on, I was still prescribed all the benzos after I stopped Oxy, right? And was getting off that. But it's like, I was just like, why the hell am I still on these things? But I didn't realize at the time that I actually needed those for some sort of a thing. because I was prescribed them for a reason, but I associated them all together, like opiates and benzos and everything.
Yep.
Like that was just one thing that I just wanted to go away. So yeah, it's like, so now that was, like I said, 7-8 years ago that I stopped, and it was hell. I would never wish that on my worst enemy, right? But
Well, let's talk about the people that I mean, you wouldn't wish it on your worst enemy. Somebody who's hearing this,
yeah,
somebody who maybe hasn't made that decision yet, they haven't come to grips with where they're at. I mean, obviously there's a moment where you came to grips with it and
Yeah.
realized and
yeah,
took the bull by the horns, and
Yeah.
with others, with the support of others. Jay, it sounds like there's
totally.
professional
Yeah.
people in your
Yeah.
life that,
Jay was
that
huge.
supported you.
My family was super huge
Yeah.
and everything like that, right? It's like, yeah, I had a really good support system, but it's like Jay tells me, he's like, you did it yourself. You had to do it yourself, or it never would have happened. And I was like, well, but I was able to do it myself because I had like amazing friends like you around and stuff like that, right?
Wow.
Yeah, and it wasn't easy, but it's like I feel like as lame as it sounds, like I climbed the Mount Everest of like problems in my life. If I can get through that, then it's like I look at my life now, playing in Proper Man, and like running a teaching studio and everything. I'm married again. I have an amazing wife and amazing stepkids and amazing son myself still. It's like I should have been dead in a ditch like 10 years ago. Like, not a word of a lie. We're living on Hastings, whatever, shooting up. But I never let myself
Whoa.
go to that place because I knew that's where I'd end up, and just made a decision in my mind. Even though I knew it'd have very detrimental mental effects on my head, right?
Yeah.
It's like, because I still have anxiety. So it's like that, but I'm learning to deal with that in my head as opposed to getting medicated for it, right?
Let's
You know
get to
what I
the
mean?
anxiety in a
Yeah.
second, because I think it's
Oh,
gotten
yeah.
faster and more complex and
Yeah.
and harder.
Yeah.
You know, like when we were growing up, like my parents, my mom was kind of the last generation of the mom that didn't work,
Right. Yeah.
that she stayed home. You know,
Mhm.
you know, but we saw that in our lives. We saw when the breakdown of the marriage of so many of our friends, if it wasn't our parents, our friends' parents and things like that.
Right. Yeah.
You know, 2-parent households, latchkey kids, all of that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, right? And it's only gotten
Totally.
more complex since then.
Yeah.
People, if there's anxiety, if there's reason to have anxiety, now's a good time to do it.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
before we get there and
Mhm.
how you're dealing with it now,
Yeah.
for guys who might be dealing with some of the stuff that you're talking about here, do you have any advice? Do you have any words of wisdom? Anything that made you feel more empowered to help you get through that situation?
It's like, well, yeah, that's a very broad question, right?
Sure.
Because there's so many things that went on in my life, but I decided one day, it's like, do I want to live my life? I was always very afraid of dying, right? And afraid of not being able to live my life out. And I decided that I want to live and not die.
So you asked yourself that question.
Yeah,
Though. You didn't
yeah.
just think I'm invincible. Do I want to live?
Yeah, I used to think I was
Okay.
invincible when I was kind of deep in everything, right? And it's like, yeah, the benzos helped with my anxiety and stuff like that, but I just knew I was onto like a downward spiral,
Yeah.
right? Like path that was gonna not end well. So it's like that was the main thing. I was like, I want to live my life.
So the awareness
Yeah.
of knowing what you wanted
Yeah.
was big.
Yeah, yeah, and
Okay.
I got a divorce from my other wife then, or like we separated, and I was just like, I got to make a change here, because that relationship was whatever it was never right in the first place. But I was like, hey, I need to stop producing because I'm involved in this entire scene that's not helping me do any better, right?
So
I
you
can't
removed
blame it on
yourself
that.
from the.
Yeah, so I moved it from it.
Yep.
And I took a couple of years off of like working essentially, and decided, okay, I'm gonna live my life. I'm gonna be an old grandpa and see my grandkids one day, instead of whatever, just living for myself, because it's very easy to just stay on medication that you're given, right?
Yeah.
It's the easy way out, and I'm sure it helps a lot of people. It helped me in whatever way that it did, but it's like too much of a good thing maybe or something, you know what I
Yep.
mean? But yeah, it's like the main thing was that I just decided that this wasn't going to be the rest of my life, because it would have been a short one.
It was
Yeah.
and it was a lot of work to get to that
Yeah.
place.
Yeah,
Obviously.
exactly.
A lot of pain,
Yeah.
all of that.
Yeah.
Everything that you went through, every second of withdrawal, whether it was physical, whether it was emotional,
Yeah.
was it worth it?
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah. It's like I said, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. That was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. It's like, but it was worth every second of it. But it was impossible in the time. It's like the feelings don't go away. The lack of sleep doesn't go away. The feelings are indescribable, and that's what the worst thing about being on like benzos is that you get so accustomed to it, right? And everything. But it's like I had come down from everything, but it was worth every second.
Yeah.
And it's totally possible to do, because I'm not on any medication like that now. because I'm not, well, actually, sorry, I'm on gabapentin, which is an off-label.
That's like a supplement, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like an off-label, like treat
Health food store
for anxiety, but it's for like nerve pain, but it's used off-label for anxiety.
Okay.
But it's not a narcotic or anything.
No,
like
you get that at a health food store.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that totally changed things around for me too. Yeah, again, the crazy stuff about how that's helped me, because when I went like cold turkey of everything, I got my life back, but then I started to feel my mind start to go away, right? And I would like, yeah, I don't even know if you want to get into random stuff.
Whatever
like
you want, absolutely.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy stuff. But I would like start to black out, and I wouldn't remember things, and I didn't know. It's like I would just like almost lose my mind, because I've got a very overactive imagination or mind where like I can't control my mind sometimes. That's how the benzos help me, right? Is because I was able to. Is because they calm me down,
and you could kind of focus it.
Yeah, but it's like, but when I went off of them, then I started to get back to normal. But then my mind started to just go crazy. I don't even know where it actually went, and it just in the past couple of years, I've been able to kind of get that under control, which it scares me a little bit but it doesn't, because I know that where I'm at now is exactly where I need to be. Yeah.
Man,
that
Travis,
makes any
the
sense?
journey makes the journey you have taken is
it's been crazy.
is nuts. But
excuse me.
But and you're teaching now and all these things, and I just want to say thank you for opening up about this stuff, because
for sure
you're also obviously teaching scratches an itch for you. Obviously, you enjoy that.
Yeah, I do for sure.
You know, your element of the band. You know, it's not the control part, but the creativity part, and being able to create.
Yeah, it really is the creativity and stuff. Yeah.
So it's cool to see that right now. You're doing that by telling your story.
Yeah.
To people who hear this.
Right.
So thank you for
that.
Oh,
for sure. No,
that is
my pleasure.
What a journey. And now you have anxiety now, and obviously there are stepping stones that can lead down bad paths.
Yeah.
You've been down those paths.
Totally,
You've come back and are now down a different path.
Yeah.
How do you deal with anxiety now?
Well, I just deal with it in my head, I guess. I don't know. It's like I used to like listen to like podcasts that like calming things, like I don't know, just like noises, stuff like that. That seems really weird, but it's like, I don't know. I was trying to slow my mind down. But one of the ways that I deal with anxiety now, if I can say it, is through weed.
Yep.
Yeah, but I don't smoke during the day at all. But I'll like have a joint at night. And it just like, because after teaching like a bunch of students, hope my students' parents don't see this, but after teaching, it's like you're elevated. It's like you need just like
it's
time
legal,
to yourself.
and by the way, this is what it's for.
Exactly.
Even before it was decriminalized, medicinal was fine too. Like
and I did. It's like I've never been like a pot smoker, but I started. I've like over the past like 3 or 4 years, I've just started to use it as a natural anti-anxiety sort of a thing, and it's totally changed my life. Right, I've got a routine where it's just like. It's enabled me to not need like benzos, right? Which is phenomenal and stuff. But I'm still a bit of like I'm a case, I guess. I don't know.
You're not. No, I don't think so.
Oh, thanks.
I think that's how we all are negotiating our way through life. And but the key here is you're actually talking about it, where so many men don't.
Right.
Where we've been taught not to talk about
that
stuff,
sure.
to quote unquote man up, right?
And that's really weird that I'm even talking about it. Like I didn't think I was gonna even talk about it, but whatever, it's totally fine, obviously, right? But it's like
this is helping people.
But obviously it's like I've talked to my wife about it and my family, and that's it for me to talk about anything like this now. With you, obviously, I know you a bit from here, but it's not like we're old bros, right? And I can tell you anything, but the reason I'm talking about it is because I feel it's very important, because if there's people that were there, that's a cliche thing to say, whatever, right? But it's totally fucking true. If you're in that stuff, there's a way out of it, and it doesn't mean that you're trapped in that thing. People think their minds are so messed up. It's like, try living in my mind for like a couple of weeks. You'll realize how fucking normal you are. Maybe, right? Or maybe
we're more the same than we give ourselves credit for sometimes.
Yeah,
too,
exactly.
Right?
Yeah, but like everyone's got issues in their head.
Yes.
And they seem unmanageable or like impossible to deal with, because you don't understand it. The problem with the mental mind, in my opinion, is that it's part of you and it's happening, and it's hard to get outside of the box and be like, no, you don't need to think this way, or to like reset yourself. And that was the scariest thing for me, getting off those things. But I was so drugged up, for lack of a better word, when I was in it. I didn't realize until I got off it, and I was like, oh, I got to deal with life in like I have to actually confront my mind and my situations and stuff, right?
Yeah.
But that's a very
But deal with it
empowering
as opposed to ignore it.
Exactly.
I'm going to deal with it.
Yeah, because the easiest thing, it's like, oh, I've got anxiety, I've got all these things. It's like, yeah, just pop a pill. It's like, yeah, that puts a Band-Aid on like an open wound that's not going to heal until you keep on doing that every single day, right? So,
and we hide that stuff. That's the difference between what you're doing right now and what you were doing then. Right now, you're not hiding anything. You talk about, GABA helped me.
Yeah.
A little bit of pot helps me.
Exactly.
Talking about it with friends helps me. Being in the band, and I'm going to get back to the band here in a second too, because I mean, I got goosebumps right now. I'm so glad that we didn't do these interviews with the other bandmates here. I'm glad we did them separate. Because all of you have talked about how this band has helped with other stuff, whatever that other stuff might be, and clearly, I mean, you know, whatever you want to call it, God, the universe, whatever. As you were going through this very difficult transition, obviously things of support, methods of support, tools of support were being thrown your way. Safe to say, I'm not putting words in your mouth by saying Proper Man is one of the ways that you can help keep your mind and, focused and like.
It's a very good possibility that Proper Man saved my life, because and I'm not saying that flippantly, but it's like, because I was at the crossroads when I was just like, hey, I don't even know what I'm doing, but I'm changing my life, and that's when Jay came back into my life, and that's when that's what led me here and to like the best place I've ever been in my life, and I couldn't have. Well, I can't say I couldn't have done it. Jay always says, yeah, it's always you that did everything, but I know that that's the huge reason of why I'm here, because my entire life path shifted, and the people you hang around with, right, and everything, to have support of people like that, and like I said, my family obviously too, and everything, right? But I don't know where I'd be if it wasn't Proper Man, because Proper Man led me down this path right when I was like at the crossroads, you know. So yeah, it's
and
pretty
it allows
unbelievable.
And it allows you, I apologize for interrupting.
No, not at all.
It allows you to use your gifts. Like,
exactly.
Like, okay, you're not a record producer anymore, producing in the, you know, life in the fast lane in the Vancouver music scene, all that. But you're producing something that is really precious and important to you and to your bandmates and stuff. So you still get to use those skills.
It's very close to me, because I don't produce that much anymore, but I've been able to find a balance. I still do like 2 or 3 like records a year in the summertime when I'm not teaching stuff, but Proper Man's always there, and it kind of like it gives me the craving that I need to produce music. So I love producing bands, and I love working with music and transforming things and everything. But Proper Man gives me the ability to do that without burning myself out, and so I teach and I do stuff around there. But I've got a really good balance in my life now, and that Proper Man's a huge part of that. Then that's very like tip of the iceberg sort of thing for me to say, because it goes way deeper than that, right? But it's the guys in Proper Man. It's everything. You know, it's the friendships. I have a stability in my head, which I know has helped me kind of get through the like issues. It makes me calmer in my mind, like to have this sort of thing that you and like guys who are like brothers, you know, to work with every week or whatever. We play so many shows and everything, you know. It's like I'm not just kind of just like lost in a studio somewhere, just like constantly my mind overblown with music and turning to other things to like try and calm it down. It's like I've got balance now, and without Proper Man, I don't know. It's huge to me.
Profound.
But it's the guys in Proper Man. It's not just some random band, right? You know, like I said, it's like Jay and Christy, when they helped me out, they opened their house up to me when I was at the lowest point in my life. Because I felt like I was crazy back then. Like when I doing quitting the music industry, I had like constantly artists trying to call me to do stuff. And I was like, no, I got to do it for me. And then to have Jay and Christy kind of realize what I was going through. I wasn't a very good house guest sometimes, you know, like I didn't do anything bad. I didn't trash their house or anything like that. No, but it's like to help someone.
It's a vulnerable place
going through it. Like, exactly. Yeah. But I had no one else, you know, like that would help me with it, right? And without even saying anything, Jay totally helped me. Like they can spun my life around to where I'm at now, and that's something I can never even thank him enough for, right? Because
you are, you are, and when you look at the output of creativity that Proper Man is, we're gonna get to Bloodless in a second here, but you know, it's very clear that the priorities of the bandmates is the lives of the bandmates first.
100%.
And then the music is second. But the music, I think, has a deeper, richer quality to it because of the priorities of the people
for
in
sure.
Proper Man. Would you?
Yeah,
do you agree with that?
I agree. I agree for sure.
You've seen a lot of bands in your life.
Yeah,
You know,
and I've played in quite a few bands and dealt with bands all the time, but I've never been in a band like Proper Man. It is exactly what you mean, because everyone cares about each other. We're all like whatever, a little bit older in life. We're not like 18-year-olds trying to conquer the world randomly by going on tour in a van, right? But yeah, it's definitely it's a brotherhood, right? Or whatever you want to call it. We're not a cult, though.
No, gosh. But I mean,
I wish.
Right.
I'd be the leader of a cult. Just kidding.
You have this, we talk hockey. You're also a giant hockey fan. I'm a giant hockey fan. We both like American teams, even though we were born in Western Canada.
Yep.
We both like, you're a Blackhawks guy. I'm a Kings guy.
Honestly.
We talk about home ice advantage.
Only modern day dynasty in the NHL. I
Right?
gotta say that.
Well,
I don't think the Kings are. It's funny, yeah.
Two cups in 10 years
Nah,
isn't a
it's decent.
dynasty.
It's decent.
You're
but
3-10.
3-6.
3-6.
Get
though.
it right, man.
Yeah, no, that's right. The Hawks are,
Yeah, they used to be good. Now we're bottom of the barrel.
Well, it's time to.
Sorry, I totally cut you off now.
You
with
loved
your,
Denny Savard growing up, though.
Yeah,
You loved all
100%.
that. Me too. I loved.
Stan Mikita.
There you
like,
go.
like stuff. It's
See?
like that's really when I was young, but yeah, Savard, Mikita, and all the.
Don't worry. You're not going down a path because I got a way to bring it right back.
Okay,
Don't worry about
nice.
it. Like I was a DeYoung guy. I was a happy Kings fan when Gretzky came over.
Yeah.
When we were little kids.
Uh-huh.
I love the Kings. Love that. Love being a part of something. I think that's huge. Another thing about hockey is home ice advantage.
Right.
For a band. This might be the greatest home ice advantage that any band where, you got a group of guys who are using this as an outlet. How important is it to have an outlet? I think we've talked about that.
Yeah.
I mean, to any guy who's listening to this, what is something that you're passionate about? And go do it. It doesn't have to be where you're like you said, on full-time in a van doing it. Just having the gigs that you do scratches those itches, helps get these parts of you out.
Exactly.
That's just kind of summing up, bringing it up. But now that being said, Jason is a guy with all of this crazy vision. Yeah. And he thinks big. Yeah. And when he built you this home ice advantage, this cathedral to play your music in, multiple times a month, how grateful are you for that?
Oh, yeah.
Isn't this, it's amazing.
It's inexplainable, right? It's like, but we talk about it sometimes. Well, Jay never talks about it. He's like, whatever. It's just, he's like, it's like, he brushes off like it's nothing, but I know that he knows what he's done for us. It's crazy. It's like huge successful bands who like are big in North America and stuff like that. They don't have anything like this. Exactly. They don't have their own private speakeasy club they can play in. Even just the fact of not having to set up gear every show. It's phenomenal. Yeah. Like people bring us water and drinks. It's ridiculous, right?
And you got a fan base.
Yeah.
You got a localized fan base that's growing and all of these things, and a catalog of music that's growing. Yeah. I want to talk about Bloodless. Yeah. Because gosh, boy, I know that it was you and Jay really that drove the bus on that one. I love Proper Man's recording process. It makes sense that you have an Uber producer is helping to helm things,
Uber,
right?
Like the driver?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I guess Uber producer is a different term now that Uber's out there.
Yeah. Sorry, no.
No,
just kidding. I know what you meant. Yeah.
The fact that you are that skilled and the way that y'all do have families, y'all do have jobs and all that, and how can a band put out quality music like this? Yeah. And the way that you record is a little unconventional, or the way that you create music, I should say, is a little bit unconventional. Yeah. In how you do it, you wrap it around your life, your lives come first.
Yeah, totally.
But at the same time, it really works, and the output is extremely high quality and has a lot of depth to it. Yeah. I know a little bit now I know more about your story. I think about Bloodless. Right. And I think about how powerful of a song that is.
Right. Thanks. I'm happy you feel that way.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. That one, well, it's like back that was written like 7 years ago. Well, it wasn't written, but back when I said I took a couple of years off when I was just trying to sort out stuff. That was first joined Proper Man, but I was working on my own solo stuff. I still do my own solo stuff. This isn't a plug for my solo stuff, but
plug your solo stuff. How do you find it? How do you find
Travis Saunders on Spotify.
There it is.
Yeah, /Teleporter. Yeah,
Teleporter.
Yeah. I've got like 4 or 5 songs there. I work with a really good guy as well on that stuff called Calvin Lechner. He's an old guitar player for Proper Man, actually.
Oh, there we go.
And he's a guy that I met back in my producing days and stuff. But anyways, when I was first writing stuff, it's like my plan was, okay, I'm going to totally change my life around and I'm going to release an album. So I just like spent like a long time, like sleepless nights, like I said, you know, like just like trying to deal with getting my body clean and stuff. And I just like wrote tons and tons of songs and stuff like that. And Bloodless was a song that I wrote back in that era. So it's like
Wow.
6-7 years old. But I could never finish the vocals to it. I was never happy with what the vocals are. And Jay, we were always going back and forth on music. So, and I always send him random ideas. He sends me random ideas he has and stuff like that. Like obviously because we're in a band, but I just randomly threw him that one. It was just like the music to it. And he's like, hey, that's the one. I was like, what? I wasn't even going to send it to you. And then he wrote the vocals to it.
Yeah.
And then we got like a Killer and Slim to come in and we basically redid it. But it was an old song that I was planning on just keeping for myself because I'm a song hoarder. Just kidding. I'm not. But yeah. You know what I mean?
So what was the inspiration behind that at the time of the writing, and how has it changed since Jay has brought his element into
like
it? It seems like a very personal song.
Yeah.
To whoever touched it, it seems very personal.
It was a very, very emotional song to me, right? It's like I just sat down at the piano and just went bum, bum. I just came up with a random chord progression. It's kind of how I was feeling it then, right?
Yeah.
And but I don't know. It's like, so you could say there's a part of that, and there's a part of the feeling in that song that came from me going through my struggles with like getting clean, you know. It's so weird for me to talk about that, right? It sounds like I'm like an ex-fucking drug addict,
no,
but I was.
Powerful.
So it's fine. It's weird for me to talk about it, but you know what I mean? It's like, but that song, it's a very emotional song for me, and I didn't even have the vocals done. And then Jay came in and brought his vocals on it. And I've got a friend of mine, his name's Ty, and he's super ruthless. I always bounce ideas off of him. And I sent like him the new Bloodless. He's like, that's the best thing like Proper Man's ever done. That's like the best melodies Jay's ever written. I was like, yeah, it is. Because he was able to take a musical thing that I put together, and I didn't know where to go with it because I was just like lost in my head back then, right? Just trying to put out music. And Jay totally brought it like to fruition, you could say. And the other guys too. Sorry, it's
of course, no.
Yeah, like
but
everyone did their stuff in it, but the inception of that song was I was in a like pretty confused place then, right? And like dark place. So I didn't know that I'd end up here, right? I didn't know anything. It's just it's been a journey, man. Like it's been a real big journey.
Well, and the journey is growing and continuing and evolving.
Yeah.
And I just want to say thank you so much for opening yourself up.
No, of
to
course,
this.
yeah. It's my pleasure.
As we move to the close here, what do you see for yourself? What do you see for Proper Man? What do you see for your family? What do you see for you as you move forward in life?
I don't know.
Just taking it one? Are you taking it
really
one moment
is
at a
one
time?
day at a time.
There you go.
Yeah, it's funny when you're when you're on like medication, if I call it medication,
Sure.
that helps you with your mind. It's something that sticks with you forever. You always think about it when you start to deal with stuff. It's like, oh, I wish I had that. Like even now, right? But it is one day at a time. Just like dealing with stuff and being and being sober off that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like obviously Proper Man drinks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that's the other side of the coin. But you know what I mean? But it's like my family's definitely helped me to get through that. Like my wife is incredible and she's supportive. She's dealt with crazy Travis more times than I can count. Where if I was her, I might have hit the road, right? But she's the reason that I'm actually here doing this right now, because it's like she's totally changed my life. Yeah, we just got married last year, and we only been together for a few years. But she came through at the last part when I was dealing with stuff that I didn't know how to deal with.
Right.
And stuff. I was getting I had a sinus infection that was putting pressure on my brain, and I'd have surgery for it. And things were just like almost like totally off the fucking rails again. But it wasn't through medication. It was because of just at that part of my life. But yeah, sorry, where I see myself, just keep on.
No,
but
right? Hold on, because guys who are hearing this too, many times they hide this stuff away from.
Right, totally.
Who's the number one person they hide this stuff from? Their spouse.
Right. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
And you're making a very, very good case for about being transparent. And how the freedom that comes with being able to be transparent with these people that are in your life. Yeah,
exactly. Because it's very difficult. I imagine it'd be very difficult to do it alone, right? To get through that stuff, right? And life's a motherfucker, right? It comes at you every day, right? But if you can deal with it every day, then everything good. So I just focus on the daily thing, and really a lot of gratitude. Gratitude I can wake up with like a wife and a family and like an amazing son, and like a career and a job and proper man. It's like I remind myself those things every morning. And
Do you?
Yeah.
Like, do you like in a journal or in the shower? Okay, yeah.
In the shower, I constantly think about like where I'm at and how like messed up it is that I'm actually here, because I never thought that I'd be in a place like this. And it kind of resets your brain and makes you like not, it like keeps you in check. So you're not like, oh no, I just want to go do whatever and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you realize stuff like that when you're dealing with things mentally, right?
Yeah.
And what you have, and like moving forward, right? It's like proper man. I just want to keep on making the best songs we can and keep on moving forward and conquer the world, right? I know that's what Jay wants, is world domination. I want that too. We got the talent and we got the songs. Maybe we need a new producer. Maybe the producer's holding us back.
No, I don't think so.
But you know what I mean? It's like I'm just so thankful that I'm at the state I am in my life now, that things can only get better, because I know they'll never get worse again, because I was able to beat the dragon, right? Or whatever you call it.
Gratitude is a silver bullet, isn't it?
Totally.
Like
yeah.
like GABA's great and some of these other things are great, but you want to get rid of anxiety.
Yeah.
Spend a half hour focusing on the things that you're grateful for.
Exactly. I'm a very like rational person, where if I'm having a tough day and stuff like that, I'll realize that I'm in a first world country. I'm in Canada. I mentally put myself back in like World War II. If you're like a soldier fighting on the front lines and like getting butchered, or all the insanity that like past generations and even people now, they have to deal with. It's like all it takes is for me to put myself in check, is be like, man, would I be complaining or thinking or worrying about the stuff I'm thinking now if I was like someone who was less fortunate, even now, like in a different country? It's like, and that's all you need in my mind to be able to stop being such a depressed like person worrying about first world problems. And obviously problems are relative to where you're at, right?
Sure.
It's like you're brought up in the environment that you are, and things are relative, but still you need to put that into perspective with everybody else, and that totally does it for me, right? Like, and I'm not saying that's it's cure all end all, whatever, it's fine, right? But it does really help me to do it, because I'm, like I said, it's like my mind needs to understand things, right? Yep. And in my head, I think that's where a lot of my anxiety and stuff like that comes before. If I can't understand things, then it's very difficult for me. Yep. But if I remind myself just how lucky I am to be where I'm at, then it makes me thankful. And if you're thankful, then the best comes out of you, right?
That's a good snowball too. Many people take the problem snowball and that gets bigger and bigger and bigger, but you can actually take the positive snowball and let it start growing as well, right?
Totally, yeah.
And thankfulness and gratefulness is one of those things that gets that ball rolling down the hill.
Yeah, and that's actually my sister Shannon. She told me back when I was like at the turning point of my life, so to speak. She's like, just get a book and write down everything you're thankful for. And I did it, and I read that like all the time for like I don't know, a couple of years. Like whenever it feels something, I just like go and I'd add things to it. Oh, I'm thankful for this now. And then I was like, man, what am I even worried about? Like, why do I have anxiety? What am I worried about? It's like I've got all these things. It's not about having things, but I've got these things that people would literally kill for. Yeah, I've got a life that people would kill for, and I'm lucky enough to have it. So get your head out of the sand and like start living, right? That's.
Are you on social media? Do you have stuff out there? Okay, let's plug that. If people want to come find you and follow you, what's the best way to do it?
Travis Saunders on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said,
and on the Spotify.
On the Spotify, Travis Saunders /teleporter. There's stuff on there. And I don't do Instagram because I'm too old, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. I just never.
I know, I'm a Facebook guy too.
Yeah. But I'm just on Facebook and Spotify. And check out my music because it's really, really, really good.
And let's finish with that. Like the one thing that I loved, my very first Proper Man show, I fell in love with you guys immediately because I love a hard band that has keyboards, and samples and things like that. Like I love like I love a hard band.
Yeah, you like the 80s stuff, right?
I do. I definitely do. But I also love like Faith No More, 9 Inch Nails. Again, but Faith No More is a hard band that has keyboards. Right. 9 Inch Nails is a very technologically. They're all technology. The whole thing, right? Yeah. But but then like Radiohead and their progression as they've grown. After they came out of the Bends, they really went down a path of technology.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Tom York said he hated melodies at one point. He wanted to write another melody again. I was like, what? You write the best melodies on the planet. Like, what are you doing? But
like, you know, and you throw the kitchen sink at your intro. I mean, it's everything from, you know, different classical all the way to, you know, with these beautiful synth parts.
Yeah.
And then the band comes in and it can be hard with it as well, but it's not all just hard, obviously. You know, you're very layered in
Thanks, man.
what makes your band.
I appreciate that.
So I just want to say I love you guys.
Yeah.
I'm really grateful that we're able to do this because the music is phenomenal, but when you go and look at the depth of the guys who make the music, it's even more so. So thank you for doing what you do.
Well, thank you very much for saying that. That means a lot to me, like a lot, because we put our heart into the band, right? And so to have it come across in the way that you're describing, that's literally the reason why we do it, right? It's not like it's very selfish at the same time because it gets us off musically, right?
Sure.
But to have it translate is really good. So
we talked about that with
Slim.
It's communal.
Yeah.
It's communal. You're giving to the audience too, and the audience
100%.
gets the experience out of it.
Right.
So
yeah.
But thank you for opening up today. Thank you for everything that you do. Thank you for being, and thank you for Proper Man.
Yeah. Well, hey, you're welcome. Thanks very much for having me and for doing this. It's been a pleasure. Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, man.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, you bet.
Give it one more day. Deaf to what they say, look the other way. Don't give it away. Give it one more day. Dead to what they say, look the other way.